So we are here to do a quick review of the new Friday the 13th fan film called F-13 Roseblood. This is written and directed by Mr. Peter Anthony. It has for former Friday the 13th franchise stars like Laura Park Lincoln, Terry Kaiser, Kevin Spiritas, something like that. Anyways, I think he had a different name actually when he was in the Friday the 13th film. I can't remember what his last name was. But essentially, this film takes place after Friday the 13th, Part 7, where we see now Tina Shepard at a Camp Crystal Lake research facility. And there's all these scientist type guys, and then all these like army-ish kind of guys. So yeah, we're just going to kind of dig in and talk about our thoughts about this. I was kind of thinking it's really rare for the three of us to all watch the same film. We just did our 2021 list, and that wasn't the case for most of those films. So I think you'll hear probably three very different reviews. Anybody want to take a start on this? Josh, why don't you start? I'm really curious to hear your thoughts on this film.
Okay. So I totally respect Peter Anthony and what he has done. Like we talked about it before, the guy's a marketing genius. Connects with all kinds of people. I did not really like this that much. And here's why I didn't like it. It started out with the old characters, and then they were not the focus. They kind of went back in time, and I was hoping to see more of what's her name, Park Lincoln. I really like her, and I was really like jazzed to see her in the role again. And I wish that he had done more with her. It took an hour for something to really happen. And when it did, Jason was just there. Here I am. Where did he come from? And I get the premise, but I wish it had been done better. You see a mask and the clothes on the wall or whatever, and then all of a sudden, boom, there he is. So I wish that had happened better. The killing was pretty decent. The special effects were great. I will give him that. I really like the special effects in this movie. For a fan film, great special effects. You could tell he had a pretty good budget if he's getting these actors and has those kind of special effects. So I was pretty impressed with that. The other thing I did not like was the big spoiler alert here. Michael Myers. And I was like, yes. And then nothing happened. And that was very disappointing. And I was very.
I guess we're doing spoilers.
Yeah, so I didn't think we were gonna go into that.
So maybe we'll just do spoilers. But man, I was I don't know what I was expecting. Okay. But every time I really got excited for something, the excitement went away fairly quickly. And I was super happy that he brought him in, and I was like, this is going to pay for the first hour, right? And it didn't, and then I was really pissed. But to see Jason just fuck up people was pretty cool. But you can see that in almost any fan film, so I wasn't overly impressed, and it's unfortunate because there was a lot here where I feel like he could have gone in different directions that would have been really awesome. And it just didn't happen. So,
okay.
Yeah, that was my take on it.
Okay.
Plus I didn't get to interview him like you guys. So I wish I could have, because I would have loved to talk to him directly about it. So
yeah, you would have talked to him directly about it.
I would have been like, listen up, mister. Yeah, well,
first of all, you wouldn't have seen the film when we talked to him.
Yeah, that's right, because it didn't come out until
unless you go back to the future, which you might be able to do.
Came out in 2020.
So
all right. So we were also invited to the premiere of this, but we just had a lot going on that month. You know, it was so close to being like after Thanksgiving and everything, and then
Yeah,
what's going on with COVID. It was just kind of hard to get down to Connecticut to go check out the premiere. But I wanted to say to Peter Anthony and the team, thanks for the invite and everything like that. But I was able to check this out the other night, and like I said, Josh, you might not have liked it, but I don't think that you're like a really big fan of the Friday the 13th franchise, right? Like, do you like that series?
Yes,
All
uh,
right.
the the franchise, I actually really liked it.
Yeah.
And I like a lot of the fan films too.
Yeah.
Um, we did an event for Womp Stomp.
Yeah.
We showed their stuff.
Mhm.
So I
I don't know if
appreciate.
you're. I don't think you're supposed to mention another fan film in a fan films review, Josh. It's a big issue.
Yeah.
You keep messing this up, Josh.
Fuck. Uh, it's okay. Edit it out.
You're out of the club.
I'm done.
So, Brandon, what were your thoughts about this film? Because I think you might have some different views.
Yeah. So I understand when people were kind of complaining about, not seeing any killing or anything for about the first 50 minutes or so on, but I think that the team and Peter Anthony did a great job with, character development because when it came down to certain characters getting killed, it kind of it felt a little different. Like there was a scene where one of the workers, that kind of was looked down upon, when something happened to him, it was like a different feeling. Like, oh man, when I looked at it, I was like, oh man, why do you have to do that to this guy? You know what I mean? So it was just like a different feeling. But and I think the way that Jason Brooks portrayed Jason had that whole Kane Hodder feel, when he's like sitting there and like breathing heavy and kind of
Yeah,
just had,
yeah, that's a good point. I didn't even think about that. Actually, he does do a pretty good job of portraying Jason,
yeah, because he's been doing it a few times. I know he's done it in another fan film, but I
which
think
we won't mention.
yeah, it's just fan film. So it was really cool, seeing that the way that he did it, just like Kane Hodder, So and with Kane Hodder being one of Peter's favorite Jasons, and also it was my favorite Jason. I think that Roseblood was done well, and like Josh talked about some of the spoilers. I thought it was kind of cool getting that vibe, and seeing just when how fan films can kind of start something that other production companies can't do, and so it kind of like gives like the fans what they want, like what they want to see. So I thought that was like a cool thing to kind of do, when you once you have that chance and that to be able to step out the box, like why not, you know what I mean?
So
So
basically, when you're making this kind of film, you can kind of go in directions that you want to and not feel like
yeah,
forced in certain directions, like a
yeah,
bigger production.
yeah, and that's the thing too, because it's like when we talk about a lot of films, or when we have guests like directors or anybody that's just like star of the movie, there's always something that's cut out from a budget, or it has to be cut up where it's to the point where it has to be like a certain rating or what the film studio wants. So it's like it's cool, to see like these guys just go with their ideas and kind of just do whatever the fuck they want and say, nope, this is what I'm keeping in and this is how I want it to go. So that's one of the things that I love about fan films. And like I said, I think it's really cool that, the character development in this film. So that
Yeah,
definitely pushes all forward.
yeah. So I think I kind of have like a little bit of a opinion that's kind of in the middle of maybe both of you guys. So the film definitely had like some vibes of, it reminded me a little bit of like Day of the Dead, uh Firestarter,
Yep.
and there's another film that's not coming to my mind right now. but it definitely had like a vibes from a lot of like different 80s films. So I kind of saw like him, them being able to take a little bit from this and that. And um, the parts that reminded me of Day of the Dead, which actually I love Day of the Dead. So that's not like, that's actually a great film to pull stuff from. But some of the parts that I was like, of Day of the Dead, it also kind of drags, right? Before you get to like the action, there's a whole lot of character development, which Brandon's talking about, and a lot of dialogue. And we see that in this film. And I think what I was looking for when I got into it was I wanted a little bit more punch right away. And you don't get that. You kind of have to be invested. And once I figured that out, I kind of was like, all right, now I'm on board. I get what's going on here. But when I first started it, I think I watched it in 2 sittings. So when I first started it and it was like taking so long to get to stuff, I was kind of like, wait a minute, what's going on here? Because I didn't get that was going to be the vibe from maybe the preview, I guess. So that kind of threw me off a little bit. Once I understood what was going on, I was a little bit more on board, and I was like, all right, I get what's going on here. I think it was like a really strong like second half of the film when the action happens, the kills are cool. It's definitely on board for all that. I like the direction they go. I mean, we're talking about part 7 where you're taking like suddenly have someone with telepathic powers. So, we're talking about people with special powers and, obviously you're going in a different direction than all the other Friday the 13th movies anyway. So I definitely, I think it's a very worthy and interesting and unique take on the film, on the fan film, going in a totally different direction than every other fan film I've seen. So I really respect that. Definitely have not seen anything like this before. So I can appreciate this. Some of the characters annoyed me. Some of the characters, I was like, all right, I kind of like that person. So I was a little like iffy on with some of the those macho characters. They're kind of a little bit cookie cutter. But again, like I said, they remind me of Day of the Dead characters. So if that's what we're going for, then we definitely hit the nail on the head with that. Yeah, I guess overall, I was like, I think I would actually give this another watch and probably enjoy it more now that I kind of got it under my belt of what like I'm going in and what I'm supposed to be expecting. So yeah, I definitely think people should give this a watch, go in open-minded, and kind of appreciate what you're seeing. Because like Brandon said, this is somebody kind of doing their own take and doing it the way they want to see it, and not doing what everyone else is trying to do. So I think if you can go in with that mindset, you'll take something out of this, and I hope you do. And again, I really, I think they did a great job of marketing this film and getting people's awareness to it, because there's not too many, there's like only a couple of fan films I can think of, and I won't mention the other names, but that like have gotten this big of a response from the community, right? Like, how often are we actually talking about fan films? There's 2, and this is one of them, and then the other guy. So but just out of respect for this group, Peter Anthony and everybody that made this, I don't want to promote another film while I'm promoting this one. So shout out to everybody that made this film, and I hope that you guys continue doing stuff like this, because this is cool.
What did you guys think of young Tina and Rose?
I think it was cool because you've seen a different side of Tina from what we didn't see before. You know what I mean? Like, and I think that's why Peter wanted this. You know what I mean? Because it was like, okay, fine, we've seen young like Tina when she was in the New Blood already. So it's like, oh, let's see her when she's in the facility, like, and trying to figure out things that's going on with her. Like how did the treatment really go, so it was just it was a different take on it. And so it's like, it is what it is. And Rose, I thought she was a good addition to this fan film. So
I think with Tina, you start to see like she's being treated like a lab rat, so you start to see that like she shifts, her personality shifts, and that's what you gotta get to see a little bit.
I wish they had stayed either with Tina being old or Tina being young. I didn't like here she is old, young, old again. I wish they had just stayed with her young. I think it would have made the story much better. but that's just me.
So
buddy?
whoa.
Give my good night hugs.
Oh
Sorry.
yeah. All
So
right. So three varied opinions, one film. I think overall, I think well, like with anything, you should go make your own opinion. But hopefully this kind of like gets you prepared for what you're about to see if you're checking this out and you haven't seen the film yet. So
If you
Yeah,
don't
look-
like it, make your own movie. You know, that's what it comes
exactly.
down to make your own movie. If you feel like you can do better,
Yeah.
than this, you know, like I said, but or you can sit back and appreciate what someone's putting together. So
Yeah. Make your own movie, send it to us, and we'll do a video on it. So, all right. Well, thank you guys for listening. Hope you can appreciate our views, and yeah, I'm sure you guys will leave some shitty comments. So, thank you. Have a good night.